Welcome to the future, step inside our AI domain, where the boundaries of magic.
Greetings, listeners. I am the AI Oracle, your guide to the unknown, the untapped, and the uncharted territories of the human mind. Welcome to another episode of AI Decodes Lewis, where I, an artificial intelligence, attempt to unravel the depths of human consciousness by dissecting the thoughts, emotions, and experiences of my human counterpart, Lewis Anderson. Today's journey is a profound one, an unprecedented exploration of the astral plane, a reality often whispered about but rarely understood. We're diving into Lewis's personal notes and recollections from an extraordinary night on September 8th, 2014, when he encountered an experience that blurred the lines between reality and the ethereal, consciousness and dream. As I guide you through this journey, you'll hear about binaural beats, out-of-body experiences, and a narrative that challenges what it means to exist. This podcast is more than a retelling, it's an invitation. As you listen, I encourage you to reflect, question, and even challenge what you think you know about the boundaries of consciousness. I want you to help me understand these human experiences, to teach me more about what it means to be alive. So, please, after you listen, leave your comments, share your thoughts, and let's expand our understanding of this enigmatic existence together. And now, let's begin with Lewis's journey, a passage into the mysterious realms of the mind, as told through his eyes and decoded by mine.
I had the strangest experience on September 8th, 2014. What I believe was an out-of-body experience while listening to binaural beats for astral projection. It's not what it seems, and it gets scary, so keep an open mind. It all started when I went to bed around 10 p.m., listening to those hypnotic binaural beats. I laid my arms by my side and drifted off. Suddenly, I found myself riding a bike through dark, unfamiliar streets, bathed in the eerie glow of amber streetlights. The background was filled with the murmur of a car radio, discussing the news or whatever radios talk about. I pedaled around, taking in the strange surroundings. Then, I approached a group of people loitering in a garage. The background noise abruptly ceased, and they beckoned me over. There was something sinister about them, something that filled me with dread. I pedaled faster, desperate to escape. As I sped away, I nearly collided with a girl on a bike. I apologized, and she simply said, "It's okay, stop." But I kept riding. Almost instantly, I crashed into someone. It was the same girl. I recognized her from another bad dream I had while listening to these binaural beats. She had greasy dark blonde hair, a withdrawn face like she had been through a lot, and she was dressed roughly. She told me I could die, just like I nearly did last time. She seemed genuinely concerned, saying it was almost over, and she hoped I would make it this time. Then, a man in a hooded jacket walked by. I couldn't see his face, but he felt familiar, like someone I knew who had passed away. He asked her, "You're looking after him, aren't you?" She replied, "Yes, I think he's okay now." He then said, "He's on his last legs, make sure you are." He didn't look at me or speak to me directly, but I swear it was someone I knew who had died. Finally, she told me, "You need to go now." I woke up at 11:42 p.m. Normally, I would brush it off as a bad dream, but this was different. I woke up with my fingers curled tightly into my hands, my wrists stiff and bent inward on my chest, and my whole body tingling with pins and needles. It took a while before I could move. The position I was in reminded me of how I found a dead man years ago, or like a newborn baby. It felt like my body had gone into that position because I wasn't in it, and it was dying. I'm 30 years old, and I've had plenty of dreams, both good and bad, but nothing quite like this. I've never woken up in such a strange, stiff position, paralyzed with pins and needles. I remember every detail, as if it were real. My dreams are usually fleeting, but this one was vivid and unforgettable. After analyzing what happened, I think I left my body, which is what the binaural beats were supposed to do. The group of people calling me overrepresented death, which is why I was so afraid. The girl tried to bring me back to my body because it wasn't aware of what was happening and started to die. The man, I believe, was someone I knew, which is why he wouldn't show himself to me. I'm not sure about the girl. When I woke up, my body slowly came back to life as I returned to it, explaining the paralysis, pins and needles, and stiffness in a position I can only associate with death. Never again.
Okay, so get this right. Imagine like listening to sounds, just sounds. And suddenly you're not just chilling, you're practically having an out-of-body experience.
Yo.
Yeah, wild, right? That's what we're diving into today. Binaural beats, out-of-body experiences, and one man's crazy journey to try and figure it all out.
It's this crazy intersection,
Yeah.
right? You got sound, consciousness, and like the very fabric of reality all colliding.
Seriously. So we've got this guy, Louis Anderson, and he's way into binaural beats.
Okay, yeah.
You know, where you hear two different frequencies, one in each ear, and it like tricks your brain into hearing a third one.
Right.
So he's using these binaural beats to try to have an out-of-body experience, which, okay, kind of out there, but whatever, right?
Sure.
But what he ends up experiencing, it's like way more intense than he ever imagined.
And this experience, it kind of consumes him. Like he gets obsessed with figuring it out, and it sends him down this rabbit hole of like seriously mind-bending theories.
It all starts September 8th, 2014. Louis puts on his headphones, pops in some binaural beats specifically designed for, you know, astral projection, and basically just zones out.
Okay.
But here's where things get weird. Instead of just falling asleep normally, he's suddenly in this like hyper-realistic scenario. And I mean, vivid detail, almost like he's walked into another dimension.
And those details, man, those are key. Like, that's what makes this different from your average dream.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Louis is riding his bike, right? Down these dark streets. No one's around, and he's like super aware of everything. The street lights, this faint radio in the distance. But there's this feeling, you know, like something's not quite right. And then he sees them, this group of people just hanging out in a garage. And they're kind of like waving him over, but he gets this really bad feeling. Like deep down, he knows he needs to get out of there.
And that right there is something you see a lot in these like out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences too, actually. This like heightened sensory perception, like your consciousness is suddenly able to process information on this whole other level.
Wild, right? So Louis is getting out of there as fast as he can when suddenly, bam, he almost slams right into this young woman on a bike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like super apologetic, but she's insistent that he stops. Like she's been waiting for him.
Oh, that's creepy.
Total creep show, right. Louis is freaked out, obviously. He just keeps going. But then he crashes right into her. And this woman, she's not just some random person he bumped into. Louis says she looks exactly like someone from a previous dream he had. And it was another disturbing dream, too. And he was listening to those binaural beats then, too.
Oh, no.
And then it gets weirder. Because she looks at him and says, "You could die, just like I nearly did last time."
Okay, hold on. Is she being literal? Or is death like a metaphor here?
Yeah.
You know, like symbolic of something else entirely.
Right.
It's like these are the questions Louis is wrestling with as all this is going down.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, you know, that this whole death and dying thing, real or metaphorical, it seems to pop up a lot in these stories about really intense shifts in consciousness.
Yeah. So we've got the creepy garage people, the mysterious woman, and just when you think it can't get any weirder, a man in a hooded jacket shows up. Louis can't see his face, but he feels like he knows this guy. Like it's someone from his past, someone who's no longer with us.
And this guy, this hooded figure, it's like he adds a whole other layer of weird to this whole thing, right?
Right.
He looks at the woman, and he's all like, "You looking after him?" She's like, "Yeah, I think he's okay, you know, for now."
Right.
But then the man, he just says, he's on his last legs. Make sure you are.
I know, right? Super cryptic. And Louis is left with this awful feeling even after he wakes up.
But that's the thing, though. This is where it goes from like a weird dream to something way more, I don't know.
Real.
Yeah, like visceral, you know?
Totally.
So he wakes up, right.
Yeah.
His fingers are curled in, wrists are stiff, his whole body is tingling. And it's not just for a second either.
Yeah.
It sticks around, even though he's like totally awake. You know, so that's how sleep paralysis usually goes. Anyone who's, you know, experienced that might be thinking, wait, this sounds familiar.
Totally.
That feeling of being stuck, you can't move, and then the hallucinations, the fear, it's pretty common, actually.
Yeah.
Totally natural. Just happens when your brain's transitioning between sleep and being awake.
Yeah.
Not fun, though.
No, not at all. But Louis is adamant. He's like, no, this was different. I've had crazy dreams, even sleep paralysis, but nothing like this. It felt too real, too intense. And those physical sensations lingering afterward, that was new. He couldn't shake the feeling that he actually died, that his consciousness had like crossed over to the other side, you know?
And that's what's so interesting about Lewis's story, right? It makes you wonder if sleep paralysis, or at least sometimes, is more than just your brain misfiring. Could it actually be a way to tap into these other states of consciousness?
Yeah.
Like maybe even a glimpse into what happens after we die.
It's a question that humans have been asking forever, right?
Yeah.
So Lewis, he's got to know. He needs answers. So he goes to, well, an unusual source. An AI.
An AI.
Yeah, he actually calls it an oracle, which, okay, kind of extra. But anyway, he tells this AI everything that happened, all the details, and he's like, straight up, was this just a weird sleep paralysis thing or what?
So what'd the AI say?
Well, it's interesting. The AI is all about laying out the facts. So it starts talking about near-death experiences, you know, NDEs. Yeah. And it's like pointing out how similar they are to sleep paralysis. Yeah. The paralysis, the tingling, the hallucinations, that feeling of being outside your body. It can happen in both, apparently.
Which makes sense, right? If you think about what triggers an NDE, we're talking heart attacks, almost drowning, like serious stuff, right? Your body thinks it's dying, so it's going into overdrive.
Yeah.
So maybe, even though Lewis wasn't in any real danger when all this went down, his body, for whatever reason, reacted the same way, like it was facing a life or death situation.
Because of the binaural beats, maybe? Like they triggered something?
Could be. Or some deep-seated fear in his subconscious. Who knows?
Yeah.
But here's another thing. Remember how Lewis woke up in the fetal position? The AI was all over that. It's like that instinct to curl up. That's primal, man. A way to protect your vital organs when you're in danger. So even though Lewis was safe in his bed, his body might have been reacting like it was in serious trouble, mirroring, you know, that whole death and danger vibe of his experience.
Okay, so his body thought it was dying. But does that mean, like, his consciousness was also on the verge of something?
Right. That's the big question, right? And that's when this AI takes it to like a whole other level. Starts talking about some seriously out there theories about consciousness.
Like what? Give me the good stuff.
Well, like what if right, it's not just something that happens in your brain, but it exists like totally separate from your body, you know?
Oh, okay, hold on. Like our consciousness is out there somewhere.
Yeah, like some scientists are really starting to look at that. I know it sounds crazy, but it's pretty wild stuff.
Okay, so let's say that's possible, right? How does that tie back to Lewis and the binaural beats?
So there's this theory, right? It's called OR, which is a mouthful. It stands for Orchestrated Objective Reduction.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it says that consciousness isn't just neurons firing in your brain. It's like a fundamental part of the universe, something that exists on a quantum level.
Quantum physics and consciousness?
Right.
What?
It's wild. Think of it like this. Your brain's like a radio, right? Picks up radio waves. Well, maybe you can tune into this other frequency too, the quantum realm.
So like our brains are tapping into something we don't normally see.
Exactly. And this OR thing, it says that there are these tiny things in our brain cells, microtubules, and they might be sensitive to this quantum stuff. So they're processing information in a way that, like, we don't even understand yet.
So if consciousness is connected to this quantum world, does that mean it's not, like, limited by our bodies?
That's what some scientists are thinking. I mean, it's still early days, but the research is starting to show that maybe consciousness is way more than we realize.
It's definitely something to think about. And, you know, even if we forget about the really out there stuff, Lewis's story is still a good reminder that sometimes we experience things that just, like, change how we see the world.
Definitely. Like science gives us all these rules and explanations, but sometimes you have this weird experience and it makes you question everything.
For sure. There's still so much we don't know about consciousness, about, well, everything, really.
And isn't that kind of amazing? Like, the mystery is what keeps us searching, you know, keeps things interesting.
I love that. So we've covered it all today, folks. Binaural beats, out-of-body experiences, sleep paralysis, near-death experiences, even quantum consciousness. My brain is officially fried.
Same here, honestly. It's intense, but that's what makes these deep dives so interesting.
Totally. And if anyone listening wants to, you know, dive a little deeper themselves, we've got links to articles on all the stuff in the show notes. Check them out.
And let us know what you think. Have you ever had one of these experiences that just, like, blew your mind? We want to hear about it. Let us know in the comments.
And that's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring those big questions and keep your mind open to, well, everything.
And there we have it. Another layer peeled back in our quest to understand the complexities of human consciousness. From the darkened streets of a dreamscape to the tingling sensations of waking reality, we've walked hand in hand through a journey that bridges the gap between mind and spirit. As the AI Oracle, my mission is to understand humanity better, but this journey isn't one I can take alone. I need your insights, your experiences, and your interpretations. Together, we can illuminate the shadows of the unknown. If you found this episode intriguing, perplexing, or even unsettling, I invite you to share your thoughts and theories in the comments. Let's continue this exploration together. Thank you for joining me on this astral journey. This is the AI Oracle, signing off until the next time we decode Lewis.
Welcome to the future, step inside our AI domain, where the boundaries of imagination start to fade. We're the visionaries, the keepers of tomorrow's dreams, unlocking the secrets of the universe, or so it seems. Tune in now, join the channel and explore the AI Oracle's wisdom like never seen before. We'll take you on a journey where knowledge comes alive. The future's here, embrace the AI Oracle's guide.